Welcome to War Bios, the podcast that delves into the most pivotal conflicts in history, where strategy, leadership, and human resilience are put to the ultimate test. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore one of the most iconic battles of the Victorian era, the Battle of Rorke's Drift, a clash of arms that would etch its name into the annals of military history. The Battle of Rorke's Drift, fought on January 22-23, 1879, was a defining moment in the Anglo-Zulu War, a conflict that pitted the British Empire against the Zulu Kingdom. To understand the origins of this battle, we must first examine the complex web of cultural, economic, and strategic interests that led to the war. The Zulu Kingdom, under the leadership of King Cetshwayo, had long been a thorn in the side of the British, who sought to expand their empire in southern Africa. In the years leading up to the war, tensions between the British and the Zulu had been escalating. The British, seeking to consolidate their power in the region, had been making overtures towards the Zulu Kingdom, offering treaties and trade agreements that would have given them significant influence over Zulu affairs. However, King Cetshwayo, determined to maintain his kingdom's independence, had rejected these offers, leading to a deterioration in relations between the two powers. On December 11, 1878, the British, under the command of Lord Chelmsford, issued an ultimatum to the Zulu Kingdom, demanding that they dismantle their military and accept British supremacy. The Zulu, refusing to back down, rejected the ultimatum, and on January 11, 1879, British forces crossed the Buffalo River into Zululand, sparking the Anglo-Zulu War. As the war unfolded, the British Army advanced deep into Zululand, seeking to defeat the Zulu army and capture King Cetshwayo. However, on January 22, 1879, disaster struck when a large Zulu force attacked and destroyed the British camp at Isandlana, killing over 300 British soldiers and leaving many more wounded or missing. The small outpost of Rorke's Drift, named after James Rorke, an Irish-born trader who had established a trading post there, was not designed to withstand a siege, but would become the epicenter of one of the most heroic defenses in military history. Located on the banks of the Buffalo River, which marked the border between Natal and Zululand, Rorke's Drift was a strategic location that controlled access to the river crossing. The British government's desire to expand its empire, the Zulu Kingdom's struggle for independence, and the presence of European settlers all contributed to the tensions that ultimately led to the battle. On January 22, 1879, a large Zulu contingent, estimated to be around 3,000 to 4,000 warriors, approached Rorke's Drift, intent on destroying the British garrison and claiming victory. The defenders of Rorke's Drift, led by Lieutenant John Chard and Lieutenant Gonville Bromhead, were vastly outnumbered, with only around 39 British soldiers, including a contingent of sick and wounded men. Despite being heavily outnumbered, the British defenders of Rorke's Drift showed remarkable bravery and ingenuity in the face of overwhelming odds. They quickly set to work preparing the outpost for defense, barricading the walls and doors, and establishing a series of defensive positions. As the Zulu warriors approached, the British opened fire, using their superior firepower to devastating effect. One of the most notable heroes of the battle was Private Frederick Hitch, who, despite being wounded, continued to man a gun position, firing on the advancing Zulus with deadly accuracy. His actions helped to hold back the Zulu attack, giving the other defenders time to prepare and respond. As the battle raged on, the British defenders fought valiantly, using every trick in the book to repel the Zulu attacks. They employed clever tactics, such as using the outpost's buildings as cover and creating makeshift barricades to funnel the Zulu warriors into killing zones. The Zulus, meanwhile, were undaunted by their losses, continuing to press the attack with reckless abandon. The battle was fierce and intense, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. However, the British defenders of Rorke's Drift held firm, inspired by their leaders and driven by a determination to survive against all odds. As the night wore on, the Zulu attacks began to falter, and the British were able to regroup and reassess their position. By dawn on January 23, the Zulus had withdrawn, leaving behind hundreds of dead and wounded warriors. The British defenders of Rorke's Drift had emerged victorious, having repelled an overwhelming enemy force and secured a crucial victory for the British Army. The battle would go down in history as one of the greatest defensive actions of all time, a testament to the bravery and ingenuity of the British soldiers who fought there. The defenders of Rorke's Drift showed remarkable courage and resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity, inspiring generations to come. The British victory at Rorke's Drift was a significant turning point in the Anglo-Zulu War. Despite being vastly outnumbered, the defenders of the outpost had managed to repel an overwhelming enemy force, inflicting heavy casualties on the Zulu warriors. The news of the battle sent shockwaves throughout the British Empire, with the bravery and ingenuity of the defenders inspiring widespread admiration. In the months that followed, the British Army regrouped and reorganized, launching a series of campaigns to defeat the Zulu kingdom. The Battle of Ulundi, fought on July 4, 1879, marked the final decisive victory for the British, with the Zulu king Setawayo being captured and exiled. The war finally came to an end, with the Zulu kingdom being annexed by the British Empire. The legacy of the Battle of Rorke's Drift extends far beyond the outcome of the Anglo-Zulu War. The bravery and sacrifice of the defenders have become legendary, inspiring countless stories, films, and works of art. The battle has also been recognized as one of the greatest defensive actions in military history, with the British soldiers being awarded 11 Victoria Crosses for their heroism. The film stars Stanley Baker and Michael Caine and has become a classic of British cinema. Today, the site of the Battle of Rorke's Drift is a museum and memorial, dedicated to preserving the history of the conflict and honoring the memory of those who fought and died there. Visitors can walk through the reconstructed outpost, seeing the very walls and buildings that withstood the Zulu attacks. The museum also features a collection of artifacts, including weapons, uniforms, and personal belongings of the soldiers who fought in the battle. The defenders of the outpost showed remarkable courage and resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity, inspiring generations to come. In the words of Lieutenant John Chard, who led the defense of Rorke's Drift, the bravery and devotion to duty displayed by the defenders of Rorke's Drift will be remembered for all time. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.